So, what's stopping you from being emotionally free? Today, I want to talk to you about clearing the way for an emotional reset. So, what is an emotional reset? An emotional reset is getting my thoughts, actions, and feelings in alignment to make visible everything my heart desires pertaining to my life and godliness. All right. So, the first step in this process is getting clarity of your situation. So, what's your greatest challenges? What are the issues that are really pressing you at the moment? So you have to get really clear on what it is that you're dealing with so that you can move forward with it. All right. So ask yourself, how is this challenge showing up in my life? Is it showing up in your professional life, your relationships, your parenting, or maybe even your finances? I see the situation happening in my life. Okay. I'm very clear on what it is that's going on, but you may not be as clear as the way these situations are affecting your life. Okay. So this step allows you to see the full picture. Okay. It allows you to see the full picture of what it is that you're facing and all the different ways that it's showing up in your life so that you can get clear on that. And that'll give you even future implications of if I don't solve this problem, if I don't deal with this challenge, how will it begin to create results in my life that could be unfavorable in different areas of my life as well, right? So the next thing, once you get clear on what it is that you're facing, you want to ask yourself, okay, I see what I'm dealing with, but now how am I showing up in the midst of these challenges? Okay. Sometimes we're not honest with ourselves. All right. Sometimes it feel like, okay, we're going through this challenge. We're going through this emotional challenge and we're dealing with all these things in our hearts and in our minds. And we feel as though no one can really see what's going on with us. Right. We feel as though, okay, my work isn't being affected, my relationships aren't being affected. I'm dealing with the situation pretty well. I'm hiding it or I'm concealing it or whatever the case may be, but I'm not dealing with it. All right. And nobody knows what I'm really dealing with in my life. So they can't judge me or again, you feel like they don't notice it. All right. But when there's people in your life that, whether it's a professional relationship or whether it's a personal relationship, if they've been in your life for some period of time, they know how you perform when things are going smooth and they know how you're performing at the moment. Okay. There is a difference whether you notice it or not, but this is an opportunity to ask yourself, how am I showing up? Are you still showing up as confident as you have been in the past, or has your confidence turned into a crisis situation for you? Ask yourself, am I really fulfilling my purpose right now, the way that I'm performing, the way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm acting, or am I limiting myself by not being able to give 100% because I have these other things on my heart and on my mind? Okay? So once you get super clear on the ways that you know that you're not showing up in the way that you would like to show up, or that you've noticed that your performance has changed in some ways, or your results have changed. You may have been going through your situation for some amount of time now, and your lag results are finally catching up to the things that you were doing on a daily basis that you felt like people didn't notice, or you felt like you were doing your normal 100%, but you didn't have 100% to give to the situation, and you showed up with maybe the 70% or the 80% or maybe even the 95%, but it wasn't the 100% that you were used to giving to the situations, and now it's showing in your lag results. Okay. Now we've taken some time to get clear on that. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, who do you desire to be in this situation? How is it that you really would like to show up even during this situation? All right. Because there are some circumstances that feel like crisis when you start off in it, okay? When I say crisis, meaning, okay, the situations and circumstances seem to be out of your control, all right? And there are some things that happen that you can't control them actually happening. Sometimes you can't even control those situations changing, right? For example, if your job shuts down, all right, or the actors go on strike or whatever the case may be, you really don't have control over the strike. or you may not have control over, your spouse or a loved one walking away from your relationship. You may not have control over them coming back to the situation, but you do have control over the way that you respond to the situation. All right. So now we're asking ourselves, what would be the ideal way for you to respond to this situation? You know, what could make life extraordinary for you moving forward, even if that thing doesn't change? All right. So, and then there's other things that that will change eventually, but we don't just want to sit around and wait for that thing to change. We want to change ourselves during the process. And then when that thing comes back, or the strike is over with, or, it's a new season, or whatever it may be, you're ready for that. But not just because you've been sitting around waiting for it to happen, but you pivoted throughout the situation and you found ways to make yourself better, and you've found ways to adapt to the situation so you could take back some of the power from the situation and empower yourself to move forward from it in the most powerful way possible. So now my question is, what does the most powerful way possible look like for you in your current situation? All right. And once you get clear on that, you'll know exactly how it is that you want your life to look. You'll know exactly how it is that you want to handle the situation. In other words, you know what will make life extraordinary once again for you moving forward. Now, the question is, what's in the way? All right. You know what the issue is. You know how you've been showing up in the issue. You also have an idea of how to make life extraordinary moving forward. Right. So now you ask yourself, what's in the way of me having this extraordinary life, even after or even through these challenging times? Right? So that's a legitimate question, and it may take some time or some reflection to really figure that out. But what's really in the way? What's stopping you from having that life? What's stopping you from being extraordinary? Okay, what's stopping you from taking this crisis situation and turning it into a situation where you're empowered to still move forward towards the things that you really truly desire? Okay, so what's in the way? And when you're looking at this is one thing that I want you to keep in mind when you're asking yourself what's really in the way. Could it is it possible that what's really in the way is not the particular thing that you thought was in the way, but the way that you were perceiving the thing that was in the way? Okay? For example, what you may consider to be a crisis at the moment, such as a writer's strike, or you know, um, something that's prevent you from making income at the moment, could really be an opportunity for you to look at some other avenues, right? And produce even more income than you've been producing, right? Or maybe there's something that someone said or did to you that makes life difficult, or has made life difficult for you to move forward, right? So maybe it's not really the thing that they did. Maybe it's not really the thing that they said that makes life so difficult for you to move forward. Maybe it's what you made it mean when they did the thing they did, or they said the thing they did, that enables you to move forward in a powerful way. All right. So a lot of the times it could be the perception that you've taken from a situation that's really in the way. It could be feelings and emotions that you took from the situation that makes life more difficult for you to move on. And that's what's really in the way. Okay. But we really have to think about that. And while you're thinking about that and you get clear on that, you have to also ask yourself this. Are you going to decide to no longer allow this thing stay in your way, that's been in your way? Or will you decide to move forward with your mindset on a more peaceful, powerful, and purposeful life? And once you finally come to this decision, you are now at the point of clearing the way for your emotional reset. So again, a path to clearing the way to your emotional reset is to ask yourself these powerful questions. Number one, what am I currently struggling with, or the most pressing issue in my life? Number two, how are you showing up in life while dealing with these challenges? Number three, how would you rather show up even during these challenges? In other words, what would make life extraordinary for you? Number four, what's really in the way? Ask yourself, is it the thing that happened or is it the way that I'm perceiving the situations in my life? And finally, are you ready to be emotionally free to move forward more peaceful, powerful, and purposefully than ever before? So this is Tori Bryant, your transformation simplificator, simplifying the way that you see and respond to complicated times. I'll talk with you soon.